Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 2nd. Thank you for the birthday wishes for Chester. And it was Sammy's birthday too, Samantha, but she's a weird cat. She hardly ever shows up in videos. Or we barely ever see her too. So I have a giant to-do list that I'm going to try and tackle today because I have to be honest, the stuffed cabbage that I made yesterday, it was really, it was very, very tasty, but it is kind of a labor-intensive process. It takes time, and it always takes me more time, not because I'm slow, but because I'm videotaping or taking pictures along the way. So after we had dinner, I just kind of looked at Polly and I said, please remind me not to do that during the week again. It's really more of a weekend dish anyway. Or it's one of those things where you make a big tray and you freeze some. And so I'm going to meet Mom today after work. Or actually have plans to meet up at Panera to have some decaf and then run over to Christmas Tree Shop, which is right across the street. So I'm going to bring her stuffed cabbage to her, for her and Dad. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm tuckered out and I feel like I need coffee, but I don't want to feel that way. So instead I'm going to pour myself a big glass of carrot orange juice. And I wonder if I should make oatmeal. I have strawberries. I have bananas too. I'll have to go take a look and see what flavor oatmeal I have. And Polly also found some canned peaches when he was looking for some more tomato products yesterday. Oh my God, hysterically. I had mentioned that I couldn't find the two 28-ounce cans of tomato products that I needed. So I had to compromise, or I had to make do with two 14-ounce and a 6-ounce tomato paste, and then added chicken stock, because you need the liquid for everything to cook. And the rice cooked perfectly, it was spot on. It wasn't mushy, there was no hard grains. It wasn't hard when you're biting into them. So it did cook well, so it had plenty of liquid, but by the time I opened the pot, as you saw, for those of you who watched yesterday's vlog, a lot of the juices had absorbed into the mixture because rice plumps as it cooks, and it plumps from the liquid that it's cooking in. So it was very flavorful. But after Polly was trying to find another can for me because I wanted to make sure I put some sauce over the leftovers, and there was barely any left in the pot, he comes out with a 6-pound jar of tomatoes, peeled stewed tomatoes. And I thought, how in the world did I miss that? He goes, oh, it was underneath something. I'm like, well, could you stop hiding your giant cans? Because I did find a giant can of mandarin oranges. I don't know what his obsession is with those monster cans, but I think occasionally he gets them on super duper deals. Either when he goes with a friend to Restaurant Depot, or if they're on special at Ocean State. But who really needs 6 pounds of mandarin oranges unless you have a recipe that calls for that? It's just, I'm like, look, you are, in case you didn't know or couldn't apply logic, you are forbidden to buy giant cans of anything. There's a 4 or 5 pound can of beets, mandarin oranges, and the tomatoes. So I thought, well, I could certainly use the tomatoes. I can make homemade marinara, which I will research, and because that's one of those things that you can make it, you can freeze some of it, so I could certainly utilize that. It won't go to waste. But what am I going to do with 6-pound can of beets? I have not come up with an idea yet. Not that I've spent much time thinking about it. Anyway, so I'm gonna get my to-do list going because I know I have to be out of the house about 4:45 to meet Mom. So I have to go visit the basement. I've already gone to see the girls. I've given them food. There's no eggs yet, but there was an egg really late last night. So there were 3 brown eggs yesterday. Oh, my tummy just went, feed me, Seymour. So yeah, and hopefully on the way back home from meeting up with Mom after Christmas tree shop, actually, maybe I should check for eye drops there. So I have to stop at the drugstore and then maybe the hardware store. I don't want to plan too much for myself tonight because I still have to make chicken, oven fried chicken tonight, because the chicken has been marinating in buttermilk and hot sauce and black pepper since day before yesterday. It's a long marinade. Hopefully it got all into, it'll be nice and moist. I'm not frying it I'm not deep frying it. It's going to be coated in flour mixture and then baked in the oven on cookie sheet with a rack on it. So yeah, before I get overwhelmed, I'm going to go get my juice and decide whether I want to have oatmeal. So I'll see you in a few. I am finally having my breakfast. I waited a little too late. I was starting to sport a headache. So I have peach oatmeal with cling-free peaches, organic canned cling-free peaches, and some whipped cream and my orange carrot juice. The last of it, I really have enjoyed it. So I'm gonna eat that up and then visit the girls one more time. I hear Moses behind me. So as soon as I finish this, I might pop outside. And I've been on the phone like for the last hour and a half, so that's the first chance I had to actually go and make my breakfast. But in the meantime, while that was microwaving, I did put the clean dishes away, and I was able to do a couple of things around the kitchen. I cannot wait to get rid of that darn printer box. Actually, I have to follow up with work. Still have not received the shipping back label. Seems like it's been forever. So now that I think of it, I'm going to follow up. First, I'll finish my breakfast, and then I'll follow up on that. So I'm going to be meeting my mom for coffee, so I'll bring my camera with me, make sure that it's charged. So maybe if she feels like being on camera, I'll have a little visit with her too. I just came back from having coffee with my mom, and to be honest, I was going to pull out my camera, but she just wanted to chat, and sometimes you have to put it away and not pull it out. But I'll show you a picture of my scone. I had a orange scone, and I think I had regular coffee instead of decaf, so I think I might have to Tylenol PM it tonight. So I'm going to go check in on the girls to see if there's any more eggs. Oh, and I see I missed 2 calls from Paulie, so I'll call him back. And then start in on dinner. Actually, it all depends on what time Paulie will be out of work, because I'm making oven fried chicken and I think green beans, and he wanted potatoes, so I'll verify with him if that's what he wanted. I always check in case his mood has changed. I'll probably be getting a very hearty, warm welcome from the dogs, because, I haven't seen them in 2 hours. Oh my gosh, I was out for 2 hours? Wow. Yeah, we had a 2-hour chat. Okay, let's be back in a sec. Time to make dinner. So I have a giant 14 by 16 inch bag. It's one of the bags that I have for paper supplies, but apparently we don't have any large bags, so that's another thing I need to add to my list of things to pick up on the next maybe Dollar Tree stop, because I don't really need to bulk buy anymore in order to save money, just what I need. So I have in here a cup and a half of all-purpose flour, a heaping teaspoon, probably close to 2 teaspoons of paprika, garlic powder, and black pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, and I already have the chicken draining in the sink from the bag that it was marinating in that had buttermilk and hot sauce and black pepper. So I'm going to make sure that this is well seasoned and try to make things clean for myself. I'm just going to put the pieces in there, take them out with tongs, and put them directly on the cookie sheet. So next thing I'm going to do is prep the cookie sheet. I have the oven preheating at 425, so it's pretty high temperature. Some of the chicken's gonna See, their oven's ready. Some of the chicken, hi Moses, some of the chicken is going to be ready before others because there's two different cuts. There's 3/4, 3 individual quarter pieces, the leg and thigh, and then there are sliced chicken breasts. The sliced chicken breasts will be more like breaded cutlets. I'm also going to add probably about a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and because I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet and then on a rack on top of it, there'll be plenty of room for the heat to get around, so they won't be sitting in any of the juices, and hopefully you get crispy everywhere. So let me put the rest of the ingredients in here, and then I'll get the chicken going and have my pan ready, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I know this looks like a colossal mess, but guess what? My hands are clean. No chicken has touched them, and I have all my chicken breaded in there. So now I'm going to use tongs and pull them out and put them on the cookie sheet, which I have already foil lined and oh my god, brain fart, and a rack on top of it, and I sprayed the rack because I don't want the chicken to stick. So let me show you what it looks like on the pan so I can pop it in the oven and then start on the sides. It's cauliflower and green beans today. So there's the pan that I cannot find my regular cooling racks that fit inside my half sheet pans, and I have a sneaky suspicion they're in the mudroom somewhere, so I'm using this in the meantime. I know it doesn't quite fit in there, but it'll be fine. And as you can see, it's foil lined, so all the drippings can just be kind of thrown out, and then it rinsed and sprayed so the chicken doesn't stick to the grates. So there's the chicken. I have it laid out, and what I did is I also sprayed some cooking spray on top so it'll crisp up. And now it's going in a 425 degree oven. The flat cutlets are obviously going to cook first, so I'm going to pull them off first, and then I'm going to make a side. So there's our side all done. I'm going to pull it off the heat. I have it already turned off. It's a small head of cauliflower, a half bag of frozen peas, and no, that's not bacon or lardons in there. It is sun-dried tomatoes. So I just chip out of them, and I keep this bag in the refrigerator. If you don't use it quite as quickly, you could certainly pop it in the freezer or divide it. Keep half in the freezer, half in the refrigerator. You'll get your money's worth. And 3 scallions, so chopped up, salt, black pepper. It almost looks like there's turmeric, and that color was the color was taken on by the cauliflower from the sun-dried tomatoes, so there's something a little crunchy, something that'll pop, the peas, there's a little chewy, that's the sun-dried tomatoes, and hopefully a little bit of the onion flavor from the scallions. So that's it. That could not be any easier. That's done. Let's peek in on the chicken. Looking good. I'll check it probably in about 15 minutes because it is on pretty high. I want to make sure that the pounded out chicken breast doesn't get overcooked. And that I have plans for later in the week. We're actually going to eat the quarters today. So I'm a big proponent of doing something once and reaping the rewards multiple times. So stay tuned for what I make up from leftovers from that. So I'll be back in a few to check on the progress of the chicken in the oven. So there's dinner. You have to hear how crusty but I doubt Polly's gonna eat that. The point was to lock the flavors in. So, wedge of lemon, the veggies, a little fresh scallion on top, and that's it. That's it for me for today. Thank you so much for stopping by and keeping me company. I appreciate it. And don't forget the thumbs up. It's free for you and it helps me out. And I will see you all tomorrow. And I think tomorrow is going to be fish. I have fish in the fridge. Fish and maybe risotto? Herb risotto? Not sure. I'll have to figure it out and see how the day goes. Thanks for watching, everyone.